In this tutorial, we're going to set up a series of site elevations. Um, I've in the previous tutorials, I set up the elevation markers here, here, and here based on the building. We could, if we wanted to, use the ones that we left in here that are parallel to the profile. It just, it would depend on what it is you want to communicate and how you want to communicate it. I'm going to go ahead and just do it parallel to my massing and use these. And so the first thing you're going to do is go in and look at them and check and make sure, it may be that the extents of the elevation is like set right there. And what you want to do is take that out and make sure it's going the limit of what it is you want to see. And so I would go in and check each one of my uh, elevations that I'm going to use, and need to zoom in here. There we go. Oh, and make sure that the elevation limits, you can see right here, uh, for some reason this one got put all the way out to there. I don't know why or how. Uh, and I'm not sure where the limits are. Uh, oh, it's because no clipping plane is set. So if we set a clipping plane there, then there we go. Oops. I don't understand why. There we go. I was grabbing the wrong one, the wrong arrow. Okay. So we want, once again, we want it to show, we want to make sure that that clipping, it's going to clip these buildings out. So if I want to see those in the elevation in the background, I need to make sure that that's extended all the way to the outside there. Okay. And this is just a good example of the issues that you might have. Same thing here. Okay, this is extended out, but once again, if there's elements I wanted to include in that elevation that were out here, I would do it. Um, and let's take a look at the last one here and see what it's set to. Okay, so we've got them set up pretty good. Let's close that 3D view because we're dealing with elevations now. And so I've got the southeast, southwest, northwest. Let's just go ahead and we'll bring them all up. So I want you to do each of these elevations, and you can see them here. Let's go ahead and bring them in. And probably since we're doing site conditions and not the building itself, 1 to 20 maybe even too big. You're going to have to test it and see. It may not be small. Whether you want to keep these elevation markers on or not, that's something you have to decide whether you want to communicate it, whether you feel like you need those to, for communication purposes. Uh, Let's see, are there some hidden here? No. There's some other elevation markers somewhere. Okay. If you can't find your elevation markers, then what you should do is go into a view where it shows. So those other elevation markers that I had don't show in these views. So if I go into, uh, let's say here, and there's levels. You know, what you can do is go in here and say maximize 3D extents. And what this will do is it'll maximize the extents of those level markers uh, for all your views. Uh, so if we close this and go back here, but what we want is these markers down here. Let's see if I can find some place where they're on. Well, I know they're going to be on. Uh, maybe not. Let's see if they're in the 3D view. No, they've been turned off there. Yeah, you can see them right there. Uh, let's see if this does it. Yeah, now that made them appear. So once again, you have to decide, do I really need those markers or do I need to add other ones in here? Uh, then you can, you know, place them where they make logical sense uh, for what it is you're trying to communicate. Once again, it's all about what do I need to communicate. Um, a couple of other things you need to check on. You'll notice I've got soil or earth underneath the topography here. If you don't, it's just like I talked about before. Uh, you need to check your massing and site. Go in here and check this. Make sure that the extents of your earth uh, or whatever you're using. You can use whatever material, sand, a black infill, or whatever. Uh, and then make sure it's going down far enough that it would cover it. So if I went into materials and I covered, uh, you know, I could pick something else if I wanted to. Let's see here, sand. There we go. So sand, okay. Apply. And then this is going to be applied to all of those conditions, okay? You really can't tell unless I was to go into realistic or consistent colors, okay? And then you can decide, do you want it shaded or not, right? Uh, Now for me, you don't need to type these in eventually into uh, Illustrator. Uh, all you need to do is take them into the level for you're just going to print them out and make a presentation uh, from Revit. Okay. So anyway, so you can go in, kind of play with that. You could add text in here if you wanted to. If you wanted to add annotate, you could go in here and text and say you want to add 1/4 inch text, and you could say, this is my base building. Now you could also do this in the sheet, and so when we create a sheet, I'll show you that. Okay. So, but you could put text in here if needed to be, and of course we could go into massing and put in site components. We could add trees. There should be some more site components in the library. So if you go into insert and into load family, uh, you'll find additional trees and stuff. Here, I'll just throw a couple of these deciduous 25-foot trees in the floor plan. Let's pull up the site plan here, and we'll just pop a few in there just so that you can see what they are. So it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Um, and then the next thing we'll talk about is a site section and some other views. So let me pull my tree in real quick. Okay. And then it's a 25-foot tree, so as you can see, my building's really tall. But anyway, so um, and that's it for this video.